Hi, I'm Corey. My brother Chad is here, and today we're breaking down why $1 million in revenue doesn't feel like $1 million in your pocket, and what's sitting between you and the money you should be keeping.
Yeah, revenue is how much money that moves through your business. It says nothing about how much you keep. So I'd rather own a $400,000 company that nets 25% than a $1 million business that nets 3%. So one guy is going to take home 100K and the other guy is going to take home 300K with three times the headache. So which one would you choose? Which one would you choose, Corby?
Which one do I choose? Clearly, I want the one that takes home more.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think real quick before we move into the key points that anybody who, if you're going to ever think about selling your business to someone down the road, that's what they're going to look at as well. So if you want to begin with the end in mind, you should always be focused on, it's the profit, how much you're keeping, not necessarily how much in revenue you're generating.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, it's what's in your pocket.
Yeah,
All right, should we move on to key point one and
we
talk about
should.
a scenario
We
on
should.
where break it down, show us where the money actually goes?
Yeah. Yeah, so if we look at we got a real like scenario here. You're bringing in $1 million in revenue. You have 600K in direct costs. So let's talk about labor, your materials, 250K in overhead. That's anything from your office rent, insurance, vehicles. You got 100K in owner draws throughout the year. Leaves 50K before taxes, and after taxes, there could be some money owed there. So
$1 million in revenue, and I might owe taxes with nothing left over.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So I think some of the hidden costs in there that could be impacting the profit, obviously personal expenses that you could be running through the business, trucks or assets that maybe you're not fully leveraging. You're going to buy a truck, make sure you're utilizing that in the business all the time and it's not sitting idle. Subscriptions, software that you're paying for that nobody's using or they're not using to its full capacity, and then fuel or other costs that nobody's really tracking. It's kind of like death by a thousand cuts. Not if you have any one of these things that are not going to hurt you, but all added up, they can do some damage to your P&L
Man, that's a lot to keep track of.
for sure. Yeah, but it's definitely worth it, especially if you want to be that the business owner that's netting 25% versus that one that's netting 3%. So it's
Yeah, I mean,
definitely a huge payoff and a big ROI.
yeah, I mean, definitely the payoff sounds like it's there, but it sounds like a lot of work. What's the approach? How do we get out of this? How do we, take home more money?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of things you can do. I think first you got to focus on the revenue side and how is that lining up with your direct costs? So your subcontractors or your materials costs, what have those been doing the last year? And are the quotes, are those reflective of the prices, that you're seeing right now, or are they reflective of the prices that you were seeing last year, which were probably lower costs? Because we know in this environment that costs are going up.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's
that's
the
very
item.
true now. The inflation going up, tariffs changing every day. So that
Yeah,
sounds a very real problem.
exactly. 10%, 15%, who knows? So yeah, that's talking about where the money actually goes. I mean, yeah, so it's definitely a lot to keep track of, and you need to be tracking this stuff on a pretty frequent basis at a pretty granular level of detail, especially for your jobs. So, um, definitely software out there to help you with that, and like I said, definitely pays off. There's a huge ROI in it.
So if we were to try to boil it down for folks, I mean, what are the top 3 to 5 things that they should focus on, right? I mean, there's obviously a lot that they can focus on,
Yeah.
but if I'm just starting out, I mean, what should I be looking at? What are the 3 things?
Well, first, yeah. I think first let's, set a baseline and like the jobs that you're doing and the job types, like what are you bringing in from them? And just understanding that, making sure that, you know, ideally your gross profit margin, so your revenue minus your direct costs that go the costs that go directly into the job. So this is your labor, your materials, anything you're paying your subcontractor, that your gross profit on that should be in the ballpark of 50%. And if it's not, then we got to look and see like, do we need to be quoting a higher price, and what do we need to do about that? So that's probably going to be your first area of focus, is to get that gross profit margin to 50%. And then let's look at the overhead side of the business and see what is running through there, and are there things in there that, you're potentially not utilizing to its fullest extent, or are there things that, perhaps you could go out and shop it around and get a better rate on? Think about insurance, or, maybe your dumpster provider, or, where you're renting equipment from. So I think those are a couple of things you can do right off the bat to kind of set yourself on the path to move from that 3% to 25%.
All right. So to summarize, basically the first thing I should do is look at my gross profit margin, make sure that it's roughly in the 50% range.
Yeah,
If not, then um I have a problem with the what I'm bidding my jobs at.
yeah,
And then beyond that, looking at overhead. What are the things that I'm using to run
yeah,
my business? What costs,
right,
might I not need anymore?
right,
How can I can leverage the things that I'm already paying for more?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
and definitely, and why gross profit? Why you look at that one first is because again, you need to set a baseline. Like, what when you do a job, what are you bringing in off of that job, and what are you keeping? So again, if you're less than 50%, you need to really take a look at that. But it's also that trend over time, because if you're not matching up what you're quoting with what costs you're doing, and your gross profit is going down, that means every job you're doing, you're making less money. So you're basically, you could be growing your business, doing more jobs, and actually like hurting your business more than you're helping it.
right. So I mean, this isn't a one time activity that I need to do
Yeah.
and look at historically, but I need to be doing this on a constant basis
Yeah.
with every single job.
Ongoing monthly basis, full P&L, and then, probably at a minimum, like once a job is complete, like what happened there, to determine kind of that job level gross
All
profit.
right. So if anything in this episode hit a nerve, good. That means you're paying attention.
Exactly. Yeah, and, we're not here to judge anybody. Um, we work with lots of businesses, and business owners. We don't, there's not a good way to do it. There's not a bad way to do it. It's your way to do it. What we're here to help you with is to figure out the best way, given how you run your business and what you have going on, because every business is unique, is how do we help you get a better understanding of what's going on in your business, and help you to develop plans to improve your business to take it where you want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually created a small little worksheet to help you find profit leaks in your business. So if you want to check that out, you can head over to go.ascendfts.com. It's 5 minutes. You can find out where the profit's going. Hopefully, give you some clarity. And as always, we're here to help if you need to.